Today, a reader. Tomorrow, a leader. The Daddy Bag of Books is available at daddyandcompany.com.
Hi, it's Robert Nickel. Today we are down at the Long Beach Grand Prix interviewing professional race car drivers about being a dad. Welcome to My Life as a Dad. Today's guest is Ed Carpenter, professional Indy race car driver, also owner of Ed Carpenter Racing, but more importantly, a dad of 3 kids. We all know any man can be a father, but it takes someone special to be the dad. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you here. So you're owner of the race car company, and you're a driver, and you got a 6-year-old, a 4, and a 1.
Yeah.
So how are you balancing that out?
Well, I'm blessed to have an amazing wife. You know, I think that's the biggest thing. You know, I think behind every dad, a good dad, there's an even better mom.
Right.
Just managing time and trading off and figuring out where everyone needs to be and doing whatever you have to do to be there.
Right. When you're traveling, how do you connect with McKenna? Do you use Skype or Facebook?
Yeah, we use FaceTime. She got a little mini iPad for Christmas. Santa Claus brought, so you know I can.
Good old Santa Claus.
Yeah, I can FaceTime her now. You know when she's home on Wi-Fi, obviously. So that's cool. You know all the kids actually like it, even the baby.
Right.
You know when they see you on TV, it's trying to eat the camera and everything else. So
hitting the thing,
yeah,
putting the buttons in. Yeah.
You know that's the great thing about, you know, even from when McKenna was a baby until now, it's so much easier to stay in touch, you know, with how fast technology changes.
Right.
It gets easier all the time.
Any role models that you reflect on when you're being a dad now today, that you go back and go, oh yeah, that really kind of helped position me to be a dad and make decisions?
You know, I think my parents were really good parents. We've always been a close family. You know, it's funny that our kids aren't here this weekend because generally they all travel with us. That's one thing. We're changing a little bit now that McKenna's in real school. We can't just take her out all the time.
Right.
But generally they would be here. So, and that's kind of, I grew up in a family that was in racing, so we were always traveling and, you know, doing things different than probably most families and going to events that kids aren't supposed to be at and things like that. So we do the same with our kids and take them everywhere we go and have fun with it, and I think it really helps shape who they are.
Do you ever get the question from McKenna, since she's older and being IndyCar racer, extreme sports, and dangerous things can happen? Have you had that conversation with her, or does she ask you?
Yeah,
or?
you know, a little bit. I mean, she was old enough when Dan Weldon passed away in 2011, you know, she was just old enough to kind of know something happened, like mommy and daddy are upset, and you know, we just talked to her about it, you know, and we're real with her and told her what happened and that it can happen, and you know, that's why our faith is really important to us, and you know, I think she obviously when you're 6, you totally don't understand that, but I think she does get it at the same time, and she knows that, you know, this isn't just a game.
Right. If you had one piece of advice that you would give to a new dad that hasn't had his kid yet, but his wife or girlfriend's pregnant and he's going to be there, what would be that one piece of advice that you'd give?
Just really work on being patient. You know, I mean, once you have kids, you know, I mean, things change, but just you know, try to not change who you are or what you like to do. Just involve your family in that. I think that's one thing that's helped me a lot as a race car driver. You know, as we've had kids, my patience has grown so much. And that's one thing that's made me a better driver, just having more patience and not getting flustered as easily, you know, because, you know, you really do have to be aware with kids, you know, to not lose your temper and be patient and take deep breaths and,
Right.
you know, not freak out. That's the one thing that I would say. Just
So you would recommend all drivers get married, have babies?
Well, don't tell everyone that.
Oh, don't give away the secret.
Yeah,
Right,
don't
okay,
give
let's
away
give the
the
secret.
My life as a dad.
Sponsored by Daddy & Company, the perfect gifts for dad. Get 15% off your next purchase at daddyandcompany.com using promo code MLAAD15.